So hi everybody, my name's Nikki Pitre, and I'm the Associate Director for an organization called the Center for Native American Youth. We are housed in Washington, D.C., and we manage, how many of you guys have heard of the Generation Indigenous network, Gen-I? Okay, cool, so we manage the Gen-I network. I'm really happy to be here with you today, and before we dive in, I want these folks from this side over to stand facing this way, and these folks right here to stand facing this way. So you're all facing each other in two lines, okay? Oh, yep, so everyone's gonna be just kind of standing facing each other. Okay, so you're all looking at each other. You're all like getting close. It's getting close, it's getting close. So everyone's facing each other in two lines, all right? Everybody has a partner. Who doesn't have a partner? Do you guys all? Yeah, match up, match up, match up. So if there's too many people on this side, let's move some over on this side. So everybody has a partner. Everybody has someone? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to introduce yourself, and I will ask you a question. You have to answer it to get to know each other, and then when time's up, we're gonna shift one person down. We're gonna rotate counterclockwise, all right? So your first question is, if you were a food, what would you be? No, you guys stand on the end. You guys need to be part of it. Here.
There's no,
Oh, it's okay. I'll make room. Here, let me make room. There's not enough room for everybody. Okay. All right, so your next question. Next question. Everybody shift one person to the right. Wait, this is right. Yeah, right. Everyone shift one person over to the right, so you're looking at somebody new. Okay? Your next question is, what is your most proud accomplishment? Go.
most proud of accomplishment.
Do you have a partner? Tell me your most proud accomplishment.
I won second place at the Juno Youth Art Show this year. So
Wow, congratulations. Oh my God, my name's Nikki.
my name's Bianca.
Great to meet you. Oh, awesome. My most proud accomplishment is being a mom to a baby girl. Next question. Well, everybody shift to the right. One person, make sure you have a partner. Next question is, what do you love most about your culture? What do you love most about your culture? And go.
Oh yeah, you go all the way.
What do you love most about your culture? Okay, shift down to the right. One more person. Your next question is, who is somebody that you admire and why?
I admire my dad.
Okay, shift down. Last one. All the way, shift. Let's go. Okay, so the last question is, what is your superpower? Everybody has a superpower. For example, I'm really good at hunting, or I'm not afraid to weather the storm. I'm not afraid to stand up for what I believe in. Last question, what is your superpower? And go. And once you've finished this, then everybody go back to have a seat. So thanks for playing that. I'm going to dive in and tell a little bit about myself to you guys. The first half of this session is going to be about storytelling and the power that we have when we relate to each other through story. So I'm visiting from here. Obviously, I'm not from here, but I figure it would be an opportunity for me to tell myself a little bit about you and share my story with you. Okay? Can everyone hear me all right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Can you guys hear me? You guys hear me? Can you hear me? Everybody? Okay, great, good. All right. So my name is Nikki Pitre. I was named after my great-grandmother, Nicolasa. I'm a Puerto Rican, Taino, and a mix of Pacific Northwest tribes, and an enrolled member of the Coeur d'Alene tribe, which is located in North Idaho. I'm the youngest of 5 children and the first and only one of my siblings to go to college and the first and only to graduate on my father's side. Getting there was a battle. I grew up with an alcoholic and abusive father and a mother who worked such long hours to put food on the table that we rarely ever saw her as kids. My dad was in the Army and we traveled a lot. I struggled to make friends and to gain a sense of community. I often longed for an upbringing that I saw my peers in school had, or my family had when they got to visit on the reservation. My parents didn't have very much money, and my siblings and I all shared one room, and I bunked with one of my sisters. My clothes were often hand-me-downs for my brother, and we often had cereal for dinner, or else were told to go eat at a friend's house down the street because my parents couldn't afford to put food on the table. I was too embarrassed to have friends come over to our house because of the amount of alcohol we had in our cabinets and refrigerator that should have really been space for food for us kids. My parents divorced, and my siblings, who I looked up to as parents, were split between their mom and their dad, or choosing their own path, which led them away from me. One day, some girls on the playground wouldn't let me play with them because they said the color of my skin was too dark, that I was too brown to play with them. So I went home, locked myself in the bathroom, and tried to scrub the brown off of me. I thought if I could just be a little bit lighter skinned, that maybe I could make some friends, that maybe my dad wouldn't be so drunk that he wouldn't recognize us and he would beat us, and that maybe I could actually love myself. My mom caught me doing this and said that the color of my skin is the same color of my ancestors who fought tirelessly to pave the path that I'm on today. Their blood runs through me and made me this way. She told me that the color of my skin is beautiful and that it's sacred. The Creator made me this way, and the Creator doesn't make mistakes. My mother lit a fire inside of me that I never had. This is the first time I felt a sense of pride in my culture and a love for myself. She told me that people were going to come and try to put my fire out, just like those girls tried to do to me on the playground. But I needed to promise her that I would not let that happen. Never let anyone put out your fire. In high school, I kept to myself. Going to school as a young brown woman in a predominantly white military community presented a lot of problems. I was a victim of racist comments from peers, teachers, and even a white principal. Girls would corner me in the bathroom, spit on me, and call me names. I felt awful, and I couldn't wait to get out of this small town. My high school counselor told me I wouldn't make it in a university because I'm Native American. I'd be better off at a community college, or just staying at home. This is what my mom had warned me about, someone trying to put out my fire. Oh, you can't hear me? Okay. I wonder if I should just turn this on. Can you hear me now? Hello, hello, hello. I'll speak up. I'll speak up for you. After graduating from the University of Washington, I came to Washington, D.C. with a desire to really spread my wings, and I had the honor of working for several national Indian organizations. I don't know if any of you have ever accidentally worn your clothes inside out, with the tag sticking out in the seams, and you try to play it off, but it just doesn't fit right. That's how I felt. And my late grandpa told me that that's what happens when you lose your ties to your people, when you lose your ties to your culture. It doesn't fit right. It's like a shirt that you're wearing inside out. Being across the country and away from my family caused a lot of anxiety, depression, and trauma from my upbringing that began to surface in ways that I didn't know were possible. I started spiraling down an unhealthy and unsafe mental and physical state. My family and I were very scared. That fire that was burning brightly inside of me started to fade. And then I got pregnant. You will go through life where paths are laid out for you, and you can go down one road that may be dangerous, and you may think it's the easy road, or you can go down a road that will honor yourself. Go down the road that will honor your people. Remember that you always have a choice. Make the choice that will support growth, make the choice that will support this flame, and make the choice that will always build up yourself and your people. I made the choice to go down a path which would allow my fire to grow inside of my daughter, to do better for myself, for my daughter, and my people. I promised the Creator when she was born I would give everything I could to ensure that she had a better upbringing than what I did. My daughter's name is Carrie's a Medicine because I believe that she saved my life. Maybe you felt shame in your culture at one point in your life. Maybe you come from a broken family like I do. Or maybe you've disliked the color of your skin, or have come from a crossroads and you're not sure which path to take. We all bleed the same, and we're all just passing through, and no one's better than the person to your left or to your right. I share a little bit of my story, not to seek pity or to have anyone feel sorry for me, but to share that I come from humble beginnings. I'm not ashamed of my upbringing, and my story makes me who I am today, just like yours does for you. Flash forward to today. Here I am, the Associate Director for the Center for Native American Youth, a national organization that works with young leaders to make sure that they are empowered. We advocate for Native youth. We share the youth story through the youth voice and provide resources for those who may need them. I share this story with you because I know there's a flame inside each and every one of you. This is my first time to Alaska, and this trip is now part of my story. We're gonna spend the next hour or so learning about the fire that you all have inside of each of you, how to grow this fire, and how to support one another and to become strong leaders. So, that's my story. How many people, oh, thank you. How many people believe they have a story? Everybody has a story. We all have stories. Stories are how we communicate with one another. This is what our ancestors have done. This is what our people have done since time immemorial. We share stories, right? So, I want you to partner up, maybe the person next to you. Take a moment to think about a story of something that inspires you or something that you're passionate about. I'll give you a moment to find somebody. Raise your hand if you do not have anybody. Everybody has somebody? You can work in groups of 3, if 2 is people are taken up. But something that you're passionate about or something that inspires you. So go ahead and take some time. Talk to each other. Does anybody want to share their story or maybe a story of their partners that inspired you?
Hi, my name is Braylon. I am from Kodiak, and you can't hear me? Okay. My name is Braylon, and I'm from Kodiak. People that are they work hard and that I feel like they're better than me, that inspires me to be better because I want to be the best that I can be, you know? I have a couple teachers that really show this and help me push myself, like Miss Carly and Miss Stewart. And my dad also.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Good job. Who else wants to share what inspires them? You just got to speak up.
My name's Harold. I'm Inupiaq, Athabascan, half and half, so I tried to learn 2 cultures at once. The language was pretty hard to pick up, especially because of the dialect of both, listening all my life. I never did learn both of them fluently, so that inspires me. Through my grandfather's Inupiaq out of Barrow and Kobuk River area, they migrated from Barrow to Anatovik Pass, west to the Ambler River, and then my grandfather, Gayak Oscar Nicktoon, went to the Latin River and came down to Alaskans. That's where I'm from. So he do a lot of traveling in winter time, and that's what I really see myself. I specialize in is survival, and I believe all the kids can do that. Anybody can, survive. If they can survive the cold, they can survive all the drugs and alcohol problems here in the world.
Wow, thank you for sharing. Somebody from this area wants to share what inspires you?
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. So I am a musician. I started out with the piano and guitar. Way back in 5th grade, I walked into band class with my guitar, and the teacher said, "You can't play the guitar in my band." And I was like, well, that's weird because there's guitars in every other band. So she said, try out the snare drum. So that's how I become a drummer. And I played drums all the way from 5th grade to now. I'm a senior in high school. And last year is probably my best accomplishment because our marching band that we have performed in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was
that's
such awesome experience. New York was awesome.
Cool.
And this next summer after I graduate, we're going to France for like a parade in there.
Wow.
So it's like, I'm glad I played the snare drum way back in 5th grade.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And then somebody from this last area maybe want to share something that inspires them? Okay.
OCO, hello, my name is Annette. I'm a Lumbian Cherokee Indian, originally from North Carolina, but I grew up in Delta Junction, so way far away from the East Coast. I'm a product of Indian education, so that's what I do for my job, is I run a boys program in 6 schools here. So I'm a mom of 3 boys, and so that is what my inspiration is because I want them to be strong Native people, but strong Native men. And so seeing you guys and seeing you all here, it's like, oh my gosh, 20 years ago, I was here doing some of these things. So make sure, like she says, follow the fire inside of you, telling you what to do. If your passion is music, you can share that with so many people. Don't be afraid to talk and to speak up. I always say God gave me a voice, I intend to use it, and that's why I'm really, really loud. But make sure that people get the ability to connect with you, because once you share a little bit about yourself, you're sharing yourself with all the people that they've come in contact with. So make sure that you always are willing to do great things and to step up, and don't be afraid or like hold shame of what other people say you're not supposed to do. So make sure you are always an inspiration to other people.
Great words. Thank you. So, how many people learned something new about somebody else maybe? How many people have been inspired? No? Nobody? Okay, cool. So, we are going to, I'm going to ask you guys, and Elizabeth's going to write them down, and then we're going to post them up. What are ways that we share our stories? An example is through like blogging. Yes. Art. Yep, just write it on down. Dancing. Performance. Sophisticated. I like that. Writing. Performance is another one, Elizabeth. What about carving? Oh, snap, did I steal yours? Okay, what's yours?
Kind of similar, mud and a knife.
Mud and a knife. Mud and a knife is storytelling. Bedtime stories. Sports, athletics. Family? Family. With your elders. Religion. You better write faster, girl. Anybody else want to share a way that they share stories? Yes. Music. What's that? Oh. Anybody else? Yes. What's that? Beating. Good one. String. Clothes. Talking circles. Anybody else? What's that? Singing. Body language. Okay. Films. That's actually a great transition to the next question we're going to be asking is, what are the elements of a good story? And if you struggle to think about it, what are the elements of like maybe your favorite film? So let's we'll slap this one up. Elements of a good story. A plot. What kind of plot? What's in it? See? Characters. Challenges. Obstacles they have to overcome. Lessons. Inspiration. What's that? A theme, a good theme. Morals. That's a good one. What's it? Character growth. Problems. What else? Symbolism. What? That's a great one. Vision. Drama. Resilience. So, you good? Do I need to swap you out with another scribe?
Could be my chicken scratch.
No, you're good. I know, this is really nice. I wish I had this nice handwriting. Okay. So hearing stories of others helps us learn things that we didn't know before. And I hope that you're able to use people's stories as you move on in life. Have you ever heard the phrase, walk a mile in someone's shoes? You guys have heard that, right? Walk a mile in someone's shoes? Oh, yes. We learn that the story of someone else can be just as powerful and inspiring as our own. We see and honor that even though there are differences between us, we are more alike than we thought. What separates us is not as powerful or as significant as what can unite us. Our stories can heal us. Our stories can be our medicine. They support each other, and they help us grow our fires. So, now what we're going to do is you guys are all going to stand up again. You're going to walk around. Just walk around, walk around, walk around. Until I say stop. You can't walk with each other. Don't. For me. Just walk around, kind of meander, do your own thing. Enjoy some solitude. Stop. Turn to the person closest to you and answer the question, what is a meaningful or powerful place to you? Okay, start walking around, walk around, walk around. All right, now stop. Grab the person closest to you and tell them a story about a challenge you have had to overcome. What is a story about something you have had to overcome? A challenge you've had to overcome? Share a story. Stop. Find the person closest to you. And share a story about somebody you look up to. Share a story about someone you look up to. So whenever you guys are finished, just go ahead and have a seat. Take your time with your story, but have a seat whenever you're done. Did everybody have a chance to get to know each other? Somewhat, a little bit? All right, sounds good. So, we all have our own stories, our own paths, and our own truths. I encourage you to never stop telling your story. You are who you are, and what you have to say matters. As you'll grow, you'll develop more of your story. So I'll say it again so word sinks in. Who you are and what you have to say matters. Who you are and what you have to say matters. Everybody got that? Ooh, I like that. Okay. So one thing we have in common is our ties to our people, our ties to our community. Even the fact that we're in this room together, in this session, that turns into one collective story. the story of us. So, how many of you heard a story from anybody here that you felt like you could relate to as well? You learned something about somebody that maybe you could relate to also. All right, great. Elizabeth, you want to start writing some more? Okay, so, yeah, you want to share something? No. So we're all part of different groups. You know, like how we're all one group right here? This is a story of us. But I want to recognize that you also have your own groups, which are their own collective stories as well. So does anybody want to share another story that they're a part of? Okay, so let me give an example. Your tribal community shares one story. Your community, tribal community. Your family, you share a story. Does anybody else want to share? Your friends share a story. Yes, Keegan. Your sports team, you guys share a story. Whenever you find a sense of community and you guys share a story together, like a basketball team, that's an example of a story of us.
Okay, with us. So like that was fun.
That's awesome. How about all the people at this conference? All the attendees at the conference, that's a story of us. So why is a story of us important? Why should it matter? Why is the story of us important? Does it matter if we share a story and no one relates to it? Think to yourself, how can I tell my story? Why am I telling my story? Stories and narratives are great to hear, but leaders call the stories to action. So this is a story of now. Who are we? A story of us. Who are we? And what do we have in common? Alaska, except for me. Alaska, something we have in common. Go ahead, write it. We're all people. Or are we? How about something we have in common? We all have a fire that was given to us by our ancestors. What makes us leaders? Putting others before you. What makes us leaders? Listening, being a good listener, that makes you a good leader. Our strength. Standing up. Open-minded. Speaking your opinion. Yes, yeah. Sorry. Empowering others. That's a good one. What change do we want to see in our communities? Helping.
That mental health will be just important as physical health.
Prioritizing mental health. Voting. Somebody said voting. Very important. Huh? Less drug and alcohol abuse. That's a good one. Self-care. I like that one. Self-care. Healing. Have a seat. You can have my seat. If you guys want to have a seat, you can sit down right there. Oh, you guys leaving? Okay. Empathy. So what are we going to do about it? How about we share our story? Change. Speak up. How about we don't let our fire burn out? Are you running out of ink? I said, are you running out of ink?
Yeah, I couldn't keep up. So I think I forgot.
So I want you guys to say it to yourself. Say it out loud if you need to. I will never let my fire burn out. Awesome. So to kind of close out the story session before we dive into leadership, I just want to reiterate 3 things. Your story And the story behind your fire matters. Everyone has a story, and connecting to stories and connecting to each other is powerful. That's how we build our fire. All right, I have paper somewhere, and I need you guys to get into groups of 5 or 6. So when you guys have a group, raise your hand, and I will give you one piece of paper. Nope, no pen, no pencil. Don't do anything with the paper till I tell you what we're gonna do. You guys got a team? So these guys only have 3 people. Do you guys want to pair up with them? 2 people. Do you want to pair up with them? Be a group? All right. Okay. Okay, that sounds good. So here's what you're gonna do. These are the only instructions I'm going to give you. You will make a paper airplane. And when you are done, you will stand by me. Go. Make a paper airplane, and when you're done, stand by me with your paper airplane. So whenever you guys are done making your plane, come stand by me. Dang, all fast.
Used to be my thing when I was a kid.
Really? All right, all of our groups are up here. So everybody stand on this line and throw it as far as you can. Don't hit nobody. Oops, sorry. Oh, I said don't hit anybody. Okay, so this group, whoever threw this one, who threw that one? Are you sure? The one that went, the one that, yeah, okay. So, everybody get back with your group. You can, we're gonna do round 2 of this. What you can do is you can get a new sheet of paper if you want to make a brand new airplane, or you can fly your same airplane the second time in a row. So get with your group and see what you want to do. And when you're ready, if you want a piece of paper, come get one. And when you guys are ready, come stand by me again. Dang, this guy. Your instructions are to make a paper airplane.
Does it have to have wings?
Your instructions are to make a paper airplane and come stand by me when you're ready. Dang. See some fancy looking planes, some nice looking planes. All right, so stand on the line and let them go. Whoa! Who hit me? Was that you? Awesome. Oh, one more! Dang! A ringer from the elders crew. I like it. One more. Oh! Let me hold your jacket. Yee! Dang! I am really impressed. That was good. All right. So you're probably wondering, what was the point of that? So how many of you decided you just designated one person to do that and let one person do the whole thing? Okay. How many of you did it collectively, sought input, and had a different flyer, maybe a different person constructing? You guys switched it up? Was it just one person? I don't know how to make an airplane. One person held it down? How about you guys? What'd you do? One person, one person, one person. Okay. Huh? All right, that's good. So, what leadership skills were required to make a plane? None? None? Communication. Knowledge. Communication. Patience. Action. Trying to knock us out. All right, I like it. So let's all sit back in a big circle again. So let's take a moment and think about maybe somebody we admire or somebody that we see as a leader. Who do you see as a leader in your everyday life? Your dad. Okay, cool. Your elders. So we have some good people in mind. Obama, my dad, my elders. What is it about them? Their drive? What is it about them that wakes them up every morning? What is their passion? What is their fire? Their grandkids. To tell a story. What is the passion of a leader that you can think of? What is it? What's your dad's fire? What wakes him up every morning? To provide for the family. That's really important. That's good. So, can anybody define what leadership is? Stepping up when no one else will. Taking charge, listening, I like it. Anybody else want to come up with a definition for leadership? Using your voice to create change. That's a really, really good one. So this is the last activity that we're going to do. Has anybody seen my tape? Anybody seen my tape? I realize I need a bigger X maybe. Well, we're just going to make do with this X. Oh, do you want to draw a big X for me? Okay, so everybody needs to pay close attention. All right? We're going to take this one off. So pay no mind to this one. Ah! Okay. So oh, thank you. Okay. So everybody pay close attention. If this sounds like, I'm going to read something, and if this sounds like you, come stand by me. Okay? Oh, stand by me. All right. So, water. Oh, wait, no. Wait, okay. Water. I don't often voice my opinions. Maybe because I think it'll hurt someone's feelings or it's a waste of time. I'm flexible. You probably don't know where I really stand on any issues unless you ask me very directly. It's hard for me to state my own needs. If this sounds like you, come stand by me right now. Nobody? Nobody? Ooh, you guys. All right, good. Thank you, my girl. Stand by me if this sounds like you. I state my opinions and I take a stand easily. People know exactly what I feel and what I want. I am an open book. You don't have to read the words because I will tell them to you, especially if you try to cross my line. Let's get real. I stay where I am and I tell it like it is, whether or not you want to hear it. I have no problem saying my way or the highway. Dang, got some leaders up in here. Okay, so now, without moving from your place, so you guys all have to stay on this side. Does anybody else kind of feel maybe you're a little bit on this side, maybe just a little bit? Not at all? You guys are just like, y'all know it? Okay, all right, I respect that. So you are not allowed to move from this line. No, just wait. Just wait. Oh, no, 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 no. No, these are the two options. And if they sound like you, move kind of towards the middle. But. So, right here, if this sounds like you and you're on this side, then move up towards me. But you cannot cross this line. I am calm and I am rational. I do not get flustered about anything. I have difficulty getting excited about things. Most people think I'm neat. My emotions are a glassy pond. If this sounds like you, stand a little bit closer to me. What am I sipping on? Okay. Man, you guys are dodging me like the plague. All right. So down here, I tell people how I feel about everything. I cry at sad movies. My emotions are extremely active and I am the perfect storm.
I don't know about that.
Okay. So, you guys are water. You guys are air. You at the bottom are fire. And you are earth. So, anybody between, what did I say you guys are? Air? Water. Anybody that would ever find themselves in this part right here, as in yourself, you are my information seeker, an opinion seeker. You're good at analyzing and processing information. You make decisions based on facts and gather as much information you can before making a decision. You can come up with totally off-the-wall things, but it works. You translate feelings and experiences to ideas. Sometimes it might take you a little bit to make a decision because you're so busy gathering facts. So if a leader has this style, you need to honor their need for information and request information, or request that they come up with a decision for you. Architects and analysts. Architects and analysts are often the minority, but you are essential. If a group does not pay attention to this area, it will miss out on significant learning that comes from observation and analysis. You also may be missing important steps and the opportunity to view a struggle or a problem in a different way. So this guy brings that to the table for you all. So can you give me an example of when you used your architect observation type of leadership?
Need to.
Wow.
So.
Awesome. Thank you for your service. Earth and air. Wait, is this air? Yeah. Okay, sorry. My memory's like, what? Earth and air. So my people right here.
Avatar.
Avatar. You guys are my drivers.
Oh.
Avatar's good. Keegan is good. All right. So you give a lot of information and a lot of opinion. Decision making can be very easy for you. You're often the keeper of the vision of the group, and you are able to take a stand. You're direct. You make things happen. Does that sound like you? You are not shooken up by criticism. You can take it, girl. Bring problems and opinions to this group because they expect this. If a leadership group does not have this style, they must pick up the roles and responsibilities that this style would possess. So can you give me an example of when you use this type of leadership?
I don't remember.
You're okay. You're okay. You're the decision maker. You are a driver. You are in the front seat.
I have one.
What?
I'm like section leader of my drum line.
Section leader of your drum line.
So, yeah.
That's a great example. Being section leader of the drum line. Thank you for sharing. That's awesome. Okay, remember, good leaders are also good listeners. So can you guys hear her? All right, cool. Thank you for sharing. All right, my water and fire crew. This group in this quadrant right in here. You are my relationship masters. You are excellent at building and sustaining community. You are my team workers. Does this sound like y'all?
Not really.
All right. You show concern for others and offer support and praise. Display high regard for others' wishes and viewpoints. You may not take a stand if this puts a relationship at risk. So much emphasis on relationship of the task and decision making that falls behind that you may downplay your own needs sometimes. To my people working with this group right here, you need to ask them to be more specific about their expectations. Encourage critical feedback from them and tell them what you want to know and what you think they might want. You cannot have too much caring and respect. You can never have too much caring and respect in leadership. It is the glue that is essential for a functional group like this. As a leader, this is very, very powerful. Anybody want to give me an example of this type of leadership that you've had?
I had a was meant to be.
I dig
that they needed me.
I dig it. Nice. Anybody else want to share? My relationship masters? No? Teamwork. Tribal council. Student government. These are good. These are really good examples. Okay, then last but not least, my fire and air crew, right in here. My spontaneous motivators. You often voice your ideas. You are energizers, and you are the motivators. You guys are like the cheerleaders. You're all nodding like, yeah. Is that you? I think you're a cheerleader. Come on, Keegan. Come on, Keegan. You stand over here. All right. So my cheerleaders. You can be emotionally bound to ideas, and objectivity can be a challenge for you sometimes. It can create a highly emotional charged climate if you put too much emphasis on challenging or confronting others. When you work with this style, you guys, when you're working with this style, know your stance and position and do not be afraid to voice it. So you guys are just a bunch of light bulbs. You guys need light bulbs to function. You guys may be you're very charismatic. And without a group like this, leadership will lack luster. Right? Thank you guys. Everyone can have a seat. Now everybody knows their leadership style. Have a seat. Yeah, these are my engineers. Okay. So from what I explained when you guys were in your sections, what did you like? What resonated with you? Is there something that's like, oh, that's true? Anything I said when you guys were in your quadrants? The fire. It sounds like strong. Yeah. Well, you are fire. Did anybody resonate? Did anybody think like, that doesn't really sound like me? It sounded exactly like you? Awesome. Yeah, I saw you shifting a little bit. But that brings me to my next point, is that even though you may identify with something, at different points in your life, you will find yourself in all different quadrants. And it is okay, because like I said, all these different types of leadership are essential. Does anybody have any questions? Been kind of blazing through everything as fast as I can here. Okay. So what is it like? We talk about leadership, but what's it like to be have to follow when you're in your quadrant? Respecting knowledge.
But there's a time to be quiet.
There's a time to be quiet. What's that? Listen and give feedback. That's good. Open-minded. What's the most challenging thing about your respected quadrant that you were in? Being quiet. Like you said, you like to talk. Being able able to take criticism well. That's a good one. Anybody else have a challenge? Seeing a different point of view. That's really good. Not stepping over somebody. Does anybody see themselves maybe in multiple? Can you guys see yourselves in maybe different points of time? I know you did. Yeah, sometimes. Okay. So like I had said earlier, these are key aspects, and every person or every quadrant is needed in leadership. Leaders come from all these quadrants, and none of these styles is better than the other. You all come from different backgrounds and have different stories. But look at your leadership styles. We're a lot more similar than we are different. It's important to lead with a style that fits you, fits the situation, and fits your team. None of these styles are good or bad. They're all strategies of leadership that can be used in different situations. So, it's important to be aware of your comfortable quadrants and your less comfortable quadrants. This can help you identify your strengths and maybe areas that you want to work on, areas that you want to contribute to your story to help you grow, to help you build your fire. Listen to other ways of doing things, trying new things, and always know when it's appropriate to seek help. So, as the last thing I would like for us to do together is to set some goals. Because like I had said, we all have a fire inside of us, and I don't want anyone to ever feel like it's getting put out or dimmed down. So I would like for us to take a couple minutes, maybe just reflect to yourself or talk with your neighbor, and set a goal for yourself. You don't have to share it out if you don't want to, but just take a moment and think about something that you would like to accomplish. Think about something of like maybe how you'd like to grow or how you'd like to continue to build your fire after this conference. So I'll give you guys some time. Remember the qualities of what possesses a good leader. And remember the things that we had talked about. So I'm going to ask you to reflect on these things. And what have you learned most about your leadership style? And how does it support your fire? How does it support your story? We've learned about traits of leadership. We've learned about the power of personal story. May you leave here feeling empowered and knowing that you are a leader and that your story is important. Use this goal that you determined, that you identified, to support this fire that you have within. And have your family work with you to help grow and build your fire. So I'm going to write down my contact information. Elizabeth, will you write down my contact information? Will you write it down? My email? I'm going to give you guys my email, nikki.pitre, nikki.pitre, Pitre at Aspen Institute.org. And my cell phone number 202-557-4602. Okay. Will you slap it up there? So I'm giving you guys my email and my cell phone number. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You guys can get a hold of me. Reach out to me. I have your back. I am invested in you. Anything that you guys need, you can count on me. So feel free to write it down, take a picture of it. But before we leave here, I want you to turn to your peers, exchange contact information with each other. Let them know that you are here for one another and make a commitment to support each other. Exchange numbers, exchange social media handles. Take a moment to connect one more time to find a means of supporting one another.